What's up everyone, Kawaii here to react to episode 5 of Grisaia, Phantom Trigger. Last episode where we left off, it was the beginning of the events of Volume 5. We got to see Murasaki's sister Yuki arriving at the airport, and we also got to see her assaulting Haruto with her giant ass boobs. So yeah, that was something. We also got to see that hilarious scene where Haruto pranks Toka by posting a sign saying that he loved her on the window. And we saw Toka shooting through that sign and the window. So, yeah. Very funny scene. As a visual novel reader, I'm glad that they adapted it. I'm also glad that they adapted the bath scene for the visual novel. So, yeah. Easily the highlight of the last episode. That beautiful bath scene. Although I wish it could have been uncensored, but it is what it is. And where last episode left off was it was going to segue into a flashback as Haruto was explaining how him and Yuki got to know each other. Now, a couple things I forgot to mention during my live reaction to the last episode was that they did skip a couple of scenes. One of the scenes they skipped was they skipped the whole sparring match between Haruto and Maki. Basically, what was happening was Maki doesn't believe that Haruto is all that tough. So she and Haruto, they decided to go to the gym to have a little bit of a sparring match. But to say it was a sparring match was maybe a bit generous, because what actually happened was Haruto was literally throwing Maki around, and Maki couldn't so much as land a hit on Haruto. So yeah, I kind of wish. So yeah, they skipped that part in the anime. Kind of wish they showed it, just to show like just how inferior in fighting skill Maki is to Haruto. But it is what it is, I guess. Also, another thing they skipped is Taiga training to be a combat medic. Yes, that's right. The whole reason why Taiga is the whole reason why Taiga even joined Class A, or I guess no, her role in Class A is basically to be a combat medic. So she's not going to be like some highly trained assassin like the others. She's going to be out saving lives. And what they cut out in the anime was that the plan was to have Taiga armed with a shield, like a bulletproof shield, a large bulletproof shield, and she was going to use that to defend herself and injured allies in battle. Also, she was going to carry around a 5.7 pistol. So, yeah, they cut out all of that in the anime for some reason. Honestly, that's a mission that truly puzzles me, because without that additional context, it makes it look like Taiga is absolutely useless in Class A, in Sword. I don't think anime owners are going to know what exactly Taiga's purpose is in the story. So, yeah, I really wish they could have added that in the anime. But it is what it is. So, yeah, on that, without further ado, let's just get on to it. Alright everyone, here we go, episode 5 of Grisaia, Phantom Trigger. That's right, we are now away from the present, and now we are in Haruto and Yuki and Murasaki's past. Yep, Yuki's mom and Yuki's dad. And also Murasaki's mom, Murasaki's dad. Mama and Papa are in two different worlds right now. Oh, okay, so. Alright, so yeah, we're jumping back to the present for a bit. Oh my god. She's just as cute in the anime as she was in the visual novel. You know, I'm not sure if I'm not sure if that camera angle was entirely necessary, but it is what it is. Oh, trust me, girl. He's going to be much more arrogant in the future. More and more arrogant as he ages. Okay, they didn't really explain. They didn't really explain why. Bullying is universal, unfortunately. She definitely laughed in the visual novel. Yeah, that's right, boy. Put your back into it. Yeah, that's how Haruto developed that killer tan, helping Papa out on the farm. He ain't gonna give up. They actually showed him in the... Oh, they actually showed him in the flashback, huh? Nope. That blush. Uh-oh. Snatching your tea. Yep. Gulping it right in front of you. Oh my god. No, they glossed over the funniest part of that whole exchange.
ハルトという男は戦国家の縁者だろ。戦国家とは幕末の時代からの付き合いだ。そう弱にも扱えまいよ。正当な秩序ではあるまい。しかしな、我が里が存続していられるのも戦国家の後ろ盾があってのこと。その分見返りはくれてやっているではないか。これまで戦国家に何人の忍者を預けたと思っている。村長はどう思われる？これまでも一族以外の者に技を伝えたことはある。しかしそれは異例のこと。以前この里に修行に来た男の件忘れたわけでは。
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, we're getting into it already. All right. Oh my god, we are getting... Oh my god. Wow, we're only halfway into the episode and we're already here? Oh my god, this... Bro, the pacing is like breakneck speed right now. What the? We don't even have Haruto and Yuki's point of view. Oh, here we go. Oh! I don't remember her eating a tomato like that. Phantom Blade. I am gonna be I have a feeling this is not gonna sit right with people that watch the original Grisaia trilogy, because episode volume 5 very much veers into basically what is supernatural territory. So yeah, and the mechanics behind Phantom Blade, it's it's at the very least very doubtful that it's rooted in reality. So yeah, I'm interested in I mean, then again, to be fair, in the original Grisaia trilogy, we had fucking Yuji fighting a clone of himself. So I don't know. And there he is. And he's wearing a regular kimono? Ah, yes. The also popular ninja technique of firing an assault rifle at your enemy.
中物と撃ちやがったどうせんだよこのクソガキ女が
あ、ごめん。譲ろうと思ったんだけど、イラッとしてつい。仕方ないよ。こういうのも立ち往生っていうのかな。これからどうする？さっきを見つけるのが先かな。ダジャレ？
Well, rest in peace, Momotaro. Oh my god, where...
あれがこの里に伝わる技の正体よ。何も恐れず、何も疑わず、極めて高性能な殺人装置になってしまう禁断の技、ファントムブレード。必勝法はただ一つ、ひたすら逃げ続ければいい。それだけ？いずれ限界を迎えたら最悪、脳が焼き切れて死ぬかもしれない。
You're not... Hold on.
お母さんの目も。主がいない先は母の死で封印が解かれ暴走したんだと思う。どんな技なんだ？何の変哲もない刀で木を切った。木なんて切れてないわ。刀も持ってない。
Okay. They are going to explain that part.
究極の自己暗示と他者暗示。催眠術か。強い思い込みで幻の刀を作り出し、周囲の空間を共振させ、相手にもその感覚をシンクロさせる。だから先が切ったと思ったら、相手も切られたと思い込む。つまり今の先に切れないものはない。なんとか助けられないのか。あのさ、私に妹を殺せって命令してくれないかな。叶うかわからないけど、私も不安だ。お前も死ぬかもしれないだろ。大河様がさらわれた事件、覚えてる？あの時と同じ。たとえ簡易契約の主でも、戻ってこいと命令してくれれば、私は戻ってこれる。全てを捨ててもいいって思える人の言葉なら。だからさ、少しでいいから私に勇気をちょうだい。勇気？ダジャレかな。ダジャレだよ。
Whoa, shit! Okay.
我が命は勇気。極東勇気。
Okay, it definitely looked like a kiss there. They kissed there, but that is not what happened. I can assure you that is not what... I'm pretty sure that's not what happened.
返せ。その刀は母上のだ。やっぱりそういう勘違いね。返せ。返せ。
Oh my god. That's it? Are you...
刀を返せ。実の姉の思いも分からず刃にかける。今の君にお母さんの刀を持つ資格があると思うのかい。渡さないなら殺す。取り返してごらん。さっさと刀を返せ。ダメか。参ったね、亡霊ってやつは。現実のものじゃ切れないか。悪かった。俺には君を倒せないらしい。刀は返すよ。大人はさ、こうやって相手を誘導して騙すんだって。
Yep, Haruto created his own Phantom Blade.
持つべきものは師匠だね。
He instilled his own imagination to it.
幻でって安直だったけど、やってみる
記憶障害の後遺症が残り、サキはロシアの親族に預けられたんだ。
Oh, they didn't even.
そこで村の名を受け継いで紫になった。
We're over. Oh my. You know,
どうだい。
just gonna save it to the end.
面白い話
Just
じゃ
gonna
ない。
save it to the end.
あなたとは性格が合わないんだ。ただそれだけのことだよ。でもこうしてちゃんとやれている自分をお姉さんに見せておきたいんじゃないですか。今ここにいるのも。どうだろうね。
自分が一番大切だって言った。
Why are they doing this?
大切な人が俺を大切に思ってくれているからだよ。誰かの役に立ちたいならまずは自分を大事にしないと。無理せず自分にできることを精一杯していればいい。いつかそのことを理解できる忍者になれていたら君の主になってあげる。
その方がいい仕事ができると思ったからです。そういうことにしておきますね。そうだね。
どうして美浜に帰ってきたんだ？
ハルトまでそういうこと言う？帰ってきちゃダメだった？
そうじゃない。でも自分の代わりにって紫を美浜によこしたのはお前だろ？
大丈夫だよ。そのうちまたふっといなくなるから。
なんだよそれ。
これでも帰りを待ってくれてる人もいるのよ。
彼氏？
気になる？
いや別に。どうせ嘘だろうし。
実はハルトのそばにいたいから戻ってきたって言ったらどうする？出発時間は誰にも言わなかったのに。
紫に気を使ったのか？
She's at the airport already.
なんじゃないわよ。
自分がいると紫に邪魔になる。だからでき
They're not even gonna give us that fan service moment with Murasaki.
急に呼び出しを食らっただけ。
いや、それも嘘だ。嘘をつかないのは自分の主人だけ。勇気が平気で嘘をつくのは一生主人を持たず妹のために生きていこうと決めたからだ。
そうね。じゃあそれで。どう？私いいお姉ちゃんでしょ。
紫はいいお姉ちゃんなんか求めてないぞ。
はいはい。もう行かなきゃ。見送りはいいわ。じゃあね。生きてたらまた会いましょう。
気が向いたらまた帰っておいで。待ってるから。顔を出せばよかったのに。
大丈夫だよ。言葉なんか交わさなくてもちゃんとつながってるから。もし今日で世界が終わると言われても私たちは何も変わらないし後悔もない。その程度には分かり合えてると思う。そして明日もまた意地を張り合いながら相対していくだけなのだ。クリスです。紫だ。
Oh no! Okay, now we're on episode 6 in the next episode. Okay. Wow. This. God damn it. You know, I kind of figured that this anime, it wasn't going to adapt everything from the, it wasn't going to adapt everything for the visual novel. I get that. I kind of figured that this anime was, there were going to be some points where it's going to rush through things and they're not going to adapt everything that needs that. And they're going to leave some parts out of the source material, even though it probably does need to be adapted. I came to this anime expecting that, because of how the first three OVAs, the adaptation of the first 3 volumes went, of how those went. Having said that, however, I still find this episode to be extremely disappointing. And I think it's best if I go over this how I usually do. I feel like I can better explain this by, just once again going through the episode and comparing it to the source material. So let's do just that. First of all, all right. Beginning part where Haruto, is first introduced to Murasaki and Yuki's parents, Sadatoki and Yuki Ikoma. Telling him why he's here and all that. That was fine. I think this part was fine. However, I don't think they properly reveal that it was Yuki. Yuki was the one that introduced him to the parents. Other than that, okay, yeah, this beginning scene was fine. This scene was fine with Arisaka checking up on Murasaki, considering her concerning relationship with her sister. Okay, this was fine. Saki's introduction, that was fine. A little bit earlier than I expected. Haruto developing that tan, that was alright. Saki getting bullied. In the visual novel, there was only 2 bullies, but here there's 3, so interesting choice there. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure they didn't fully explain why Saki gets special treatment. So, the reason why she gets special treatment is because as you probably learned from the episode, the Phantom Blade and basically the secret art, is of course an extremely powerful technique. But the thing is, the Phantom Blade itself, that technique, like, nobody has been able to do that for like 100 years in that village. Until Saki came along. She was literally the only, like, I think it was like, among like all the kids that were trained in that secret technique, Saki was the only kid that was able to pull off the Phantom Blade. And that's why the villagers gave her so much special treatment. That's why she's regarded as like the treasure of like that village. See, that's why the kids are kind of pissed off that she gets so much special treatment. Also, they didn't really explain what that village is all about. So, yeah, the village is like all the villagers in that village. They're all about the ninjutsu, ninja techniques and all that. However, they still, as you can probably see, they still act like just regular villagers. And yeah, that was the thing when it came to that village, is that despite them being all about ninjutsu and ninjas and all that, they still act like no appeal most of the time. Sadatoki is a farmer. Some of them own trucks. Also, they have Wi-Fi apparently. Also, they wear Uniqlo. Also, Yuki, despite I guess being a ninja of some sort, uses an AK. Yeah, the courage scene. Yeah, this was decent. Also, as you can probably tell from this scene, I guess this would technically make Haruto and Saki and Yuki childhood friends. If I had $1 for every Grisaia MC that had a pink-haired childhood friend, I have 2 nickels, but which isn't much. No, I'd have $2, which isn't much, but it's weird that happened twice. Haruto working in Dad's farm, that was done pretty well. Him talking about Momotaro, that was done pretty well. This scene was done pretty well. But a couple things I do want to mention though. So first of all, they cut out. I know one of the parts they cut out was when Saki suggested that Haruto should join the family and marry Yuki. She could be like, maybe you can be my older brother. And the way she said that in the visual novel was just so adorable. And I kind of did wish they included that in the anime, but it is what it is. Also, they never really. Also, I really wish they could have fleshed out Haruto and Saki's relationship more. Oh yeah, and one thing I also forgot to mention is that they weren't. The scene where they were, this whole conversation taking place while they were playing video games. That's an anime original touch. In the visual novel, they weren't really doing anything specific while they were having this conversation. But it isn't yet. It is a nice touch considering Murasaki is a gamer. Also, oh yeah, notice how throughout this time I've been calling her Saki instead of Murasaki. They did not explain this in the episode. The reason why I call her this younger version Saki instead of Murasaki is that Mura is a title given passed down in the family. Only certain individuals in the Ikon family, only certain individuals that are versed in the art, in this secret technique, can adopt the name Mura. So that's how Saki became Murasaki. Yuki was ineligible for this title, and her mom, both Saki and Yuki's mom, she didn't have Mura either. I know they explained that in the visual novel, but to be honest, I forgot the exact specifics. But yeah, that's why she's Murasaki. And like I said, I wish they could have fleshed out Haruto and Saki's relationship. So also they skipped the whole reason why Saki was enamored with Haruto in the first place. Again, they kind of went more into specifics in the visual novel, but one of the key things that Saki thought when she first met Haruto was that he described his pale skin, his long flowing hair, and his good looks. Like, he thought Haruto was someone that came straight out of a movie. And I think that just kind of it kind of added to Saki's kind of inferiority, like her lack of self-confidence. She didn't think that she deserved to be on someone's on Haruto's side, because to her, Haruto's kind of out of his league, out of her league. And yeah, in the visual novel, it also described how Saki was, again, basically enamored with Haruto. So yeah, it also does kind of reinforce the Grisaia harem tendencies. So yeah, Haruto is in a way also a harem MC like Yuji. But don't expect any like romance on the same caliber as the original Grisaia trilogy. That's another reason why she asked this question. Yeah, that's why she. Yeah, there's like multiple reasons why she wanted to choose Haruto as her master. It's because how she felt about Haruto, the time they spent together, the wisdom that Haruto imparted on her. And even if like they don't start a relationship, Saki just wants to be of use to Haruto. And I think it was eventually time, Saki was at the age where it was time for her to choose a master. So what better person to be her master than Haruto? Okay, the scene where she revealed to her parents that she wanted Haruto to be her master. Now, I said that they cut one of the funniest scenes, the funniest part of this whole scene. And that was like during the early talks of the scene where Saki reveals that she wanted Haruto to be her master. In the visual novel, the scene starts off with Ikoma Yuki. Not Yuki. Yuki and Saki's mom. She was like, because she's still technically a ninja, she was like dangling from the ceiling, and only like her ahoge and like the top part of her head was visible. That was already pretty funny in and of itself. And then when she came down, because as you probably saw from this scene, Yuki, the mom is all for it. The mom is all for it. Papa, not so much. Vehemently opposed to Haruto being Saki's master. And in the visual novel, the two parents kind of have a tiny argument over it, debate over it. And in order to escape this sticky situation, Mama used substitution jutsu and substituted herself for a log. So for a while, also Haruto's supposed to be in the scene. So for a while, it looked like Sadatoki was talking to a fucking log. even though Yuko was still technically in that room. And Haruto was like, "Yo, calm down, sir. You're talking to a log." And that was just so funny. Like if you watch my playthrough of Volume 5, then you will be able to see how hard I laughed during that scene, during that time. So yeah, I really wish I could have adapted that in the anime, because it would have been so funny. Okay, the scene where the two sisters were talking to each other. I think there was one piece of dialogue that I don't think they adapted. In the visual novel, she didn't say, "I didn't ask to be a big sister." She said, I didn't ask to be born first, born after her. So yeah, apparently, in the past, Yuki and Saki, they had a big fight, and Yuki started crying. That's when she yelled, "I didn't ask to be born first." And ever since then, Saki felt bad, and that's why she was so reserved. And kind of just let, Yuki do whatever she wants. She has her she has her mother's eyes and her smile. Oh, by the way, one thing I kind of did mention it in the live reaction, but going back to the scene where Haruto stood up to the bullies. Yeah, Saki was actually supposed to laugh. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think she actually laughed. Because in the visual novel, she definitely laughed. Yeah, she did. She did not laugh. Not even. I didn't hear a single any audio cue that could signify a laugh. So yeah, I don't know why they didn't have Saki actually laugh. But yeah, in the visual novel, her laugh was adorable. Okay, the scene where the villagers were talking about Haruto. This was fine, although again, it's happened a bit earlier than I preferred. Okay, Momotaro was not introduced like this in the visual novel. In the visual novel, the way he was introduced is that, the bullies, that those kids that bullied Saki, the two, because there were two bullies in the visual novel, the two bullies, they were talking about like gotcha or trading cards or something like that, and one of them bumped into Momotaro, who was entering the village, and after and the Momotaro started talking to them, and the kids realized how scary he was, and that's when Momotaro used his sword and slashed one of the kids' throats. And the kid, of course, bled out and died. So yeah, pretty brutal death to Saki's bullies. And the other kid who saw his own friend, get his throat slashed, he started becoming afraid. Also, Momotaro, he started going on about how he loves slashing people's throats and hearing the gurgling sounds and all that, and seeing the life drain from their eyes. Yeah, he fully showed himself to be a sadistic motherfucker. And so yeah, that's the other kid. He started running away in terror, obviously, and that's when Momotaro caught up to him, and he drove his sword right through the kid's back, and the other kid was dead too. So yeah, a pretty brutal end to Saki's bullies. Were they very, very mean and cruel to Saki? Yes. Did they deserve to go out like that? Did they deserve to die over? Did they deserve to die over it? Probably not. But yeah, I don't think I don't think they died in the episode. In fact, yeah, I think in the episode, I think in the episode they were still alive. Also, yeah, these are Momotaro's subordinates, and there is a lot more of them than they showed in the visual novel. In the visual novel, they were only like, I think 4? No, I think 3. They showed 3 subordinates. But in here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 subordinates. So, yeah, that's an interesting choice. Yeah, these kids are... Wait. Okay, no. They did die in the visual novel. No, they did die in the episode. But they didn't show it. Also, I don't think it was... Maybe it was the subordinate that killed the kids. Oh no, I think the subordinate killed the kid that ran away. But yeah, no, I think in the visual novel, yeah, Momotaro killed the kids himself. Okay. Here, the scene where Saki was taking a nap. So, Saki is taking a nap here because, you know, she likes, you know, climbing trees and shit like that. And she took a nap while Haruto and Yuki, they went out shopping. And they were grabbing lunch and all that. And I remember they offered Yuki, no, they offered to Saki to come with them, but Saki said no. She said, "Oh no, you guys can go on ahead. I'll just stay here." So yeah, that's what happened. That's why Haruto and Yuki weren't at home, and that is, I feel like that's a very important piece of context that they, for some reason, cut out. Also, wait, did you say grandfather? Okay, hold on. Okay, I don't remember the mayor being her grandfather. I don't know what that's all about. Also, Sanetoki was supposed to be here in this meeting. Oh, the meeting wasn't even supposed to end like this. Them being slaughtered. The meeting was supposed to end with them just saying, "Oh, you know, okay, let's just see how Haruto, you know, does in the village, and then we'll, you know, just monitor his progress." And it was assumed in the visual novel that they would just, you know, they end the meeting and they just go on about their lives. They weren't supposed to die, like, literally right after the meeting. Also, in the visual novel, I think it was, well, first of all, yeah, this man is not supposed to be, have I mentioned that already? Or whatever, yeah. This man is not supposed to be Saki's grandfather. He's supposed to be the mayor, at least, of the village. And in the visual novel, he was a bit more vague, with his last words towards Saki. In the visual novel, he said, he said something like, "I never should have let him into the village. I never should have taught him those techniques," or whatever. So yeah, he didn't explicitly say that, man. So basically what I'm trying to say is, like, in the visual novel, it makes more sense why Saki would confuse Momotaro for Haruto in that instance. I'm still upset at that mayor for making Saki even believe that Haruto could have possibly done this. But yeah, oh yeah, also yeah, Murasaki, you know, went back to her home. Sanetoki and Yuko were killed. I really wish they could have fleshed. I really wish they could have fleshed out the parents more. because yeah, in the visual novel, their deaths do hit more, because we got more. We got to know they had more focus in the visual novel. Like they were genuinely good people, unlike some other parents to other characters in the Grisaia series. Yeah, Saki goes berserk. She unleashes the secret technique. The tomato eating, like I said, was not in the visual novel. In the visual novel, that was anime only. Okay, here's Saki transforming into Phantom Blade. One can even say transforming, going berserk, unleashing its secret technique. The candles and the statues and shit, that's a nice touch. But the big problem I have with this scene is that... See, I stopped catching up to Volume 5, like, after the flashback ended. Because I thought for sure that, like, Volume 4, they were gonna stretch this out to 3 episodes. I didn't think that they were gonna completely rush Volume 5 and just end it all in this episode. Like, I thought that the episode was gonna leave off on, like, maybe Saki unleashing the secret technique, going into Phantom Blade mode. But no, that happened like halfway through the episode. And I don't get it. I don't understand. I'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, I didn't expect this to happen so soon. Basically what I was trying to say. Okay, where does Saki go? But yada 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 yada. Take care of Saki for us. Sword is behind a scroll. So one thing they skipped over, concerning the death of the parents, and this is also one of the reasons why their deaths hit so much harder in the visual novel, is that they were, and when the parents died, they were holding hands, because during the death scene in the visual novel, Yuko, man, holy shit, I already forgot the mom's name. I'm pretty sure it was Yuko, yeah. The mama was like, honey, where are you? And Tayatoki was like, I'm right here, darling, I'm right here. And they reach for each other's hands, and you hear the last words, and you just see the life just going, just vanishing from them. But yeah, they ended up, they were together in the afterlife, till death do us part. And yeah, it was just, it was very sad in the visual novel. But no, they didn't show that in the anime adaptation, because of course, why make an actual good adaptation? But yeah, also, oh wow, one thing I forgot to mention. If we go all the way back to when Haruto... Oh, when was this? Yeah, okay, it was during the dinner scene. Okay, they did not, for some reason, they did not explain why what's going on with Mama's eyes. So, yeah, the reason why she has her eyes closed like that is because she does have vision issues. And this is an entire, this is like a huge, this is like an entire piece of Ikoma Ninja Lord. They just completely skipped over in the anime. But yeah, the reason why she had vision issues is because she too knows the secret technique. And the thing is with the Phantom Blade and the secret technique, the Phantom Blade mode, as I like to call it, is that with great power comes also great drawbacks. So when Yuko used the secret technique one time, she was able to snap out of it, but it came at the cost of her vision. And what happened was when she used the secret technique, her own brother sacrificed himself to Yuko, who went berserk. And when Yuko killed her own brother, and when she snapped out of it, the guilt hit her so hard, and both the guilt that she felt and I'm pretty sure the side effects of the Phantom Blade mode, it impacted her so hard that it affected the optical nerves in her eyes. Like, it affected her optical nerves, and because of that, that's why she had vision issues. Also, the reason why she was able to step out of it is because I think, like, the Phantom Blade mode, it's basically bloodlust. Like, it needs, it needs to kill. Or no, I think it was more so is because the shock of killing her own family member got to Yuko, something like that. Anyway, either way, yeah, that's why Yuko had vision problems, but she is able to get around just fine. And that does, however, bring up the question of. Well, actually, no, hold on. Before I get into that, the scene where the parents died, it was never shown in the anime, but yeah, the parents were killed by one of Momotaro's subordinates. And Haruto and Yuki, when they went back to the house, they caught Momotaro's subordinate right after he finished killing the parents, and Yuki shot him with a gun. So yeah, they didn't include that in the anime. It does bring up the question though: how was Momotaro's subordinates able to kill Murasaki and Yuki's parents, but Momotaro himself lost to a kid Haruto? Really makes you wonder. Like, he was able to slaughter an entire village, but somehow lost to kid Haruto. Really just makes you wonder. Oh yeah, the introduction to Momotaro. Momotaro, like Taiga's father, was a lot more annoying in the visual novel. I guess that's one positive. I guess that's one of the few positive things I could say about this episode, is that they cut out Momotaro's obnoxiousness. Also, like I mentioned earlier, Momotaro was not... in the anime, he's wearing a normal-looking kimono, a normal-looking garb. But in the visual novel, he had a black garb with skulls on it. Like, he had skulls all over his garb. And I'm not sure why they changed it in the anime, but if I had to guess, I'm guessing it's because this normal looking garb is easier to animate than a garb that's covered in skulls. If that's the case, then alright, I guess I understand. Although, let's be real. A kimono covered in skulls would look much cooler. I'm not gonna trash the fight scene too much, the animation during this scene too much, because it's already known at this point, B-Bury, they're not, you know, they're not known for Sakuga, you know? Like, they don't have the biggest animation budget. Hell, the adaptations of the first 2 volumes of the visual novel, those started off as Kickstarter campaigns. So yeah, that should give you a big idea that should give you enough clue that, you know, B-Bury is not the wealthiest studio. Yeah, the scene where they kill Momotaro, that was definitely a bit more epic in the visual novel. In the visual novel, yeah, they were having this really big fight scene with Momotaro facing off against Haruto, who was, you know, they were having a sword fight while Yuki was shooting at him, at, you know, both of their directions. And in the visual novel, it cuts to this CG where it looked like Momotaro was standing. And it looked like Momotaro was still standing. And Haruto and Yuki, they were doing this really fancy pose, with Haruto holding, you know, the sword that was placed in the ground, and Yuki posing with her AK, and they were both smiling at Momotaro. This real cocky smile. But as it was revealed later that they were looking cocky for good reason, because as it turns out, Momotaro's head was cut off. And the way it was in the visual novel was that the camera, it panned up a little bit to show, because at first the head was not shown in the CG at first, but then the camera panned up a little bit and you saw that what was supposed to be the area where a head was supposed to be, Momotaro's head was supposed to be, was instead replaced by a geyser of blood. And, you know, you realize in that instant that, oh shit, Momotaro is dead. And what was very interesting in the visual novel during that scene was that you could still, Momotaro was still voicing his thoughts. But yet, his head was detached from his body. And after it was revealed that, you know, he was decapitated, he started to realize, oh wait, no way, how? This can't be. The realization slowly started to set in. So yeah, it was a very brutal end to Momotaro, but pretty satisfying. Although I wish that we could have. Although I kind of wish we could have saw him suffer a little bit more, but it is what it is. And what made that scene better was what is with Yuki and Haruto going hey, isn't this what they call you know, oh man, what were the exact words they use in the visual novel? They said something isn't it what you call standing death or something like that? I can't remember the exact wording, but yeah, what made that scene, what really was a cherry on top during that scene was the dialogue the exchange between Haruto and Yuki, the snarky exchange. Oh yeah. And it was revealed that, you know, Saki made quick work of the other subordinates. Okay, yeah, the Phantom Blade scene. Yeah, yep. Didn't actually chop down a tree. Got a tour running away. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they did kind of mention that uh, Yuko's blindness in the anime, but not in detail. Okay, the explanation in this scene was fine, but one thing they didn't include in the anime is that when Saki uses the Phantom Blade, the victim's mind doesn't just believe that they've been slain. The body also believes that they've been slain. So basically what I mean is that if the victim in the visual novel, it was explained that if the victim was cut by the Phantom Blade, the mind in their mind and their body would truly believe that they've been cut, that they've been slain, or they've been seriously injured. And what would happen was the response from the victim's body would be kicked into overdrive, and it would disrupt the platelets and in their body and the blood flow and all that. So, which would then turn which would then make the image of being slain into a reality in a way. So, in other words, even though there's technically no blade, the Phantom Blade technique is still very lethal. Okay, yeah, this scene was fine. Okay, yeah, definitely. I still don't think they actually kissed in the visual novel. And I think what happened was, what happened was, Yuki just bit Haruto again and drew his blood. I don't think that was was that explain the anime. I don't think I don't remember. But yeah, if you can recall, when Yuki unleashed the Phantom Blade mode to save Taiga, the reason why she was able to snap out of it is because she bit Haruto and was able to draw his blood. And I think, and that same thing is happening, or at least that's what I believe happened in this scene. Okay, the chant, this was alright. Okay, the fight scene. I wish was a lot more epic. Yeah, in the visual novel, it was not just one slashed. Yuki was injured multiple times in the visual novel before going down. So yeah, I don't think it was over that quickly. Yeah, I'm still... Jeez. Yeah, that's another disappointing thing about this adaptation. Yeah, now we got the fight scene with Haruto. Okay, so I think some anime onlys will find it weird why Haruto is just standing there next to Saki. And that was because in the visual novel, he was supposed to grab Saki. Yeah, he was supposed to grab Saki with, like, you know, use both arms to grab Saki, and I guess, go into some hand-to-hand combat wrestling moves in a way. But of course, that wasn't successful. Okay, the scene where Haruto used the Phantom Blade on Saki, that was alright. Okay. This is perhaps one of the if not the most disappointing omissions in this episode. Like, this is perhaps the most disappointing aspect of this episode for me. They completely skipped what happened after Haruto defeated Saki. What happened in the visual novel is that when Saki came to, first of all, after Saki was defeated, she had like a vision of her mom, and during that vision, Saki was in basically full guilt mode. She was like, I've done something that cannot be undone. I've made a huge mistake. I've unleashed the seal. I have killed so many people. I just want to die. There is nothing left for me. And Mama was like, no, Saki, you have to, that's not true. There is something left for you. There is still people in your life that can help you carry on. You don't have to, you shouldn't wish for death upon yourself like this. Those aren't the exact words, but that's basically how it happened. So yeah, very meaningful scene. And then when Saki came to, she woke up to Haruto. And then it was revealed that Yuki was also awake, but because of Phantom Blade mode and that fight with Saki, her mind reverted back to like a childlike state. She couldn't remember her own name. She couldn't remember her own sister. And I don't think she even remembered why she was there in the first place. Why she was in the forest in the first place. And when Haruto asked her, "Do you remember who I am?" Yuki said, "My boyfriend?" So yeah, she doesn't remember Haruto either. And when Saki saw Yuki like this, she burst into tears and she hugged Saki. And she was apologizing to... Saki hugged Yuki and Saki was apologizing and all of that. So yeah, she felt really guilty, like, about the state her own sister was in. And that scene just hit really hard because you can tell, like, I think if anybody saw their own sister or like their close family member being reverted to that state, like that would break anybody. I think or at least that would break most people. I think most people in that would react exactly the same as Saki in that situation. And of course, Yuki was going on like, whoa, calm down. Why are you crying? Please stop. I'm sorry, Saki. I won't forget your name again. So yeah, that's why from time to time Yuki can't remember her own sister's name. It's because of the injury, and that's the injury that was talked about in the previous episode. It's because of the it was because of that moment. What happened during their childhood. And I'm so disappointed. I'm so upset that they cut that part out because it had so much emotional impact. It truly it truly explains why Murasaki still feels awkward around her sister and wants to avoid her. It's not just that she feels inferior compared to Yuki, who's this awesome ninja and all that. It's also because she feels there's still a bit of guilt in her about what happened, about the time that she activated Phantom Blade mode. Because Saki is the reason that Yuki cannot remember her own sister and all that. And I don't understand why they decided to cut that part out. Hell, I don't even understand why they're fucking rushing Volume 5 in the first place. And like I said, I stopped catching up to Volume 5 after the flashback ended, because I thought for sure that they were gonna rush through the entirety of Volume 5 in this episode. But no, I guess I'm wrong. And another disappointing thing about this episode is that they cut out another piece of fan service from the visual novel. In the visual novel, there is a scene where Haruto is laying on his bed. I don't remember the exact details. But there is a scene where Haruto is laying on his bed and Murasaki sits on top of him. And in that scene, her uniform was unbuttoned, her chest was exposed, and you could see her admittedly small boobs and her tummy, and I think her breasts were I think instead of a bra, her breasts were like wrapped in bandages, or like they were wrapped in like white wrapping. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I was really hoping that they would adapt that scene, because considering the magnificent bath scene that we got in the previous episode, I thought I thought B-Berry was based when it came to the fan service of the visual novel. But I guess not. I guess they have preferences. And then, yeah, the episode ends with fucking Yuki going back to the airport. Off doing ninja work and all that. But yeah, I hope you like Yuki from what little you know about her. From what little you've seen of her. But yeah, I honestly don't understand why they rushed through the entirety of Volume 5 in this episode. Like, during the first 3 episodes of this anime, they stretch out Volume 4 to 3 episodes. Now, did they still skip out on some stuff? Yeah, they did. But the pacing, but the pacing of those episodes, was still not as fast as this. They still respected the source material, and they added quite a bit of nice, anime original stuff that further enhanced the source material, which I really did appreciate. And they still adapted a lot of the important stuff that I've grown to expect from an adaptation of Volume 4. Like, for example, Chris's past, and Taiga being held hostage at the university, and the Phantom Trigger crew, Class A, coming in and saving both Chris and Taiga. Also, the mother and daughter moments between Chris and Taiga, those were all adapted very nicely. Hell, in episode 2, they left off on a cliffhanger with Taiga fending off the terrorists and more terrorists coming in, closing in on her position. And it looked like all hope was lost for her. That was done really well. I really like that. I really like the way they ended that episode. Why couldn't they do that with episode 5? They had the perfect opportunity to end this episode with either, I don't know, the introduction of Momotaro or Saki unleashing her Phantom Blade mode, and just dedicate episode 6 to maybe the confrontation. Maybe like the first half of episode 6 dedicated to the confrontation, the fight between Yuki and Saki, and Haruto and Saki. And dedicate the second half of episode 6 to, wrapping things up. The fan service moment, Yuki departing. That's what I expected from an adaptation of Volume 5. But no. No. That's not what happened. And what happened is they squished a volume into just 2 episodes. As I've said, in the last episode, they already slammed through like 6 parts of my Volume 5 playthrough. That was already weird enough as it is. And now we have this. My playthrough was 10 parts. And so, yeah. They condensed like hours, 10 playthroughs worth of a visual novel into just 2 episodes. And I just don't understand. They cut out so much content that could have made this episode better. And I understand that some of you guys will not be pleased with the way I rant about the anime and how I'm comparing it to the source material. I get it. Those types of people can be obnoxious. I have become no exception. But that's just because I expect better from Studio B-Bury. Like, I've seen what they could do with Phantom Trigger. Hell, if you go back and watch my live reactions to the first 3 episodes, you would know that I was very pleased with how they adopted many things in Volume 4. I wasn't complaining all the time, And that's why I'm so disappointed with how Volume 5 was adapted. Because I know B-Bird can do better. I know the animes can do better. But for some reason, they didn't. So yeah. I mean, yeah, well, how long was the adaptation? 43 minutes long? 45 minutes long? 47 minutes long? Less than 50 minutes? When fucking the adaptation of Volume 1 was that long. I understand it. I understand why it was that short. I understand why Volume 1's adaptation was that short because, well, I mean, it's like the adaptation was born from a Kickstarter campaign. So obviously they're not gonna have. They probably didn't have enough budget to stretch it out any further. That I understand. Volume 5 I think there's no excuse. There is no excuse, especially with what they did with Volume 4. And Volume 2. And Volume 3. Also, in the PV, it looks like Oh my god, they adapted the bike wash scene. Let's go. But yeah, anyways, but yeah, judging from the preview, it looks like we're gonna skip they're gonna adapt volume 6. Which means they're going to completely skip volume 5.5. Now, I know I said before that volume 5.5 is pretty much just filler. But I still could have wished that we could have seen an adaptation of, like, at least Arasaka's past. And the fact that they are jumping straight into volume 6 and complete skipping open to volume 5, it just goes to, that just shows to me that they are, once again, they're cutting corners and they are rushing things for no reason. And honestly, I am deathly afraid of how the volume 6 adaptation is going to go, because I consider volume 6 to be one of my favorite, if not my favorite, installment in the Grisaia Fan Trigger series. Like, it's at least top, it's top 3 for sure. So, yeah, I'm scared. I am scared. But we'll just see how it goes, I guess. But yeah, again, overall, this episode had some things I enjoyed, but for the most part, it's a very disappointing adaptation. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Grisaia. Subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time.